this speaker is quite funny, really, because it's a great talk. But what I found funny was at the break, actually, because he handed me an introduction to read. Because initially I asked everyone, okay, can you just give me a few lines about yourself so that I can introduce you to everyone? And he was like, oh, just say, I know, Chris is a new member, he's just joined recently. And then he heard the introductions and thought, well, actually, I want something a bit more. And he was a bit bashful because this guy, he helps authors and trainers and speakers basically monetize their knowledge and get paid while they sleep, effectively. He's run workshops in the UK, Ireland, America, Australia. He's co-organised a TEDx conference in Abu Dhabi. Has anyone heard of Nightingale Conan? Yeah. For those that haven't, they are like to personal development audios and books what Nike are to yoga brands, to exercise. I've got yoga on the brain here. To exercise clothing. And he in the UK was effectively, I guess, not the Nike, but the Adidas, like the next one down, bringing in these kind of products. So he's got a lot to talk about, but he's not going to be sharing that tonight, but he's going to be sharing something even more interesting and valuable, which I'm going to let him explain in a second. So please welcome up Chris.
It doesn't kill you, makes you stronger.
Hi guys, well I'm going to share with you a shocking story that happened to me 2 years ago, and the 3 lessons I want you to take away. But before I tell you that, I'll just give you a little bit of history, because some of you might go, oh yeah, I've seen some of the stuff that you've done. Well, 20 years ago I got made redundant suddenly, and my dream was, out of work, was I'd love to set up my own business. So I set up a personal growth business by mail order, importing products from the States, CD sets, tape sets then, and selling them to people in the UK. Now, I don't know if this is the business, it's called Live Tools. Any of you know the Sedona method? Great. Yeah, and if you've heard it, it's like if you're feeling angry, you say, could I let the anger go? Would I let the anger go? And when would I do that? Well, it was me that found Hale in the States and introduced the Sedona method into the UK and brought the creator of this into the UK, and we sold thousands of these sets. So that's one thing I did into the UK. Anybody know photo reading? There you go, Marilyn and Harry. Photo reading is a way of reading at 25,000 words a minute, and Paul Sheely, who created this, has spoken here, I think twice maybe, but he's spoken at the YESx group. Well, I brought photo reading into the UK. We sold thousands of sets, but promoted them around the UK. And the third thing I was going to show you, just so you get, oh yeah, I've heard of it, seen the advertising, is Mind Lab. I don't know if you've ever seen these. You put these goggles on, and they use pulse lamps to get you into a very relaxed state. Any of you seen this kind of stuff? Oh, only a couple. Well, one of the buyers of this was this masseuse, and she was the masseuse for Tony Robbins many years ago. So when she went into massaging over an Unlimited Power weekend, she actually put these goggles on him, and she went into this profound relaxed state while she's massaging him. And he immediately said, where can I get these from? So he ordered 3 of them there and then, and we sent them down to the conference, and then he ordered some more a few months later. So I was very proud, very excited, because I followed Tony for years. So anyway, a few years ago, 5 years ago, my family and I, we moved out to Abu Dhabi. And I spent 3 years in Abu Dhabi having the most wonderful time, and as Harry said, I organised a TEDx event there, and I was doing some coaching and things. And this is me with a friend of mine. And 2 years ago, I decided I was going to move back to the UK. And 3 nights before I came back, so I was flying back to the UK, leaving Abu Dhabi, coming back to the UK. And 3 nights before, I sat up in bed and I felt a bit uncomfortable. Something wasn't right. And I reached down and I felt my left testicle. And it was a bit firmer than usual. Well, I wasn't worried because we had private medical care in Abu Dhabi. And I'd gone to the doctor and said, can I have every kind of test? Because Steve Jobs had died with pancreatic cancer. So I thought, well, while I've got this private medical care, I'll have every test to make sure I'm really healthy. And it come back, I was completely healthy. So here was me with this slight firmness. Well, I wasn't really bothered. So 3 days later, I flew back into the UK and went straight to my doctor, and he said, probably nothing, but he sent me for an ultrasound. So I went to the ultrasound, this big German guy with this gel, and he squeezed it all over my leather pieces, all this gel, this big probe. And then he looked me in the eyes and said, malignant tumor. Well, it's like, I don't know if you think for a minute, now, which is malignant one? Is that the one that doesn't mean anything, it's not doing anything, or is it something that needs to be done with? So they spoke to me very slowly, said, follow me this way. And they speak to me very slowly, said, look, we need to get you on the operating theatre in 3 days. We're cancelling everything else, you get in, it's priority. So I was like stunned, never been in an operating theatre before. So 3 days later, I was sitting there, and the surgeon put this big arrow on my left leg. And it's like, who's going to do this operation? It's like this Mr. Magoo character. So I was even more scared, because you want to make sure they cut out the left one, which is the right one to cut out, of course. So anyway, we had this operation, and out it comes, and of course, has the cancer spread? You know, is it just isolated that one area? So then I got my favourite outfit from my wardrobe, and my shoes, and went into this CT scan. Now this is radiation, isn't it? So you push you into this, and then they find out if it's spread to the lymph nodes, because if it's spread up from the testicle, then you're going to have chemotherapy. Well, thank God, you know, I was completely clear of this, so you know, I didn't need to have chemotherapy, which was great. Now, the thing is, there are 3 lessons I want to share with you from this, because it changed my perspective on life completely. You know, I saw things very differently. And my first lesson I want to share with you is live each day as if it was your last. The reality is that for the 90% of you, you're going to live until your 90s. Maybe even 100, because the advances in health are astonishing just over the last few years. And I would almost bet that some of you are going to live way into your 100. But one day it will be your last day. And we don't know when that's going to be. And I've had friends who've died suddenly. But wouldn't it be wonderful if you live your life as if it was your last? Because one day it will be. And it means that when you're interacting with people, that you treat them as though it could be the last time you see them. Now, this isn't about being morbid or anything. This is about just a way of looking, so you're more engaged with people. It brings you into the present moment. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Now, the other thing is, I want to say, which is, the second point is, don't delay, act today. It's very easy to put off stuff to tomorrow. I mean, Laura talked about this earlier. It's like, I'm not quite ready yet, you know. But there's only today. There's only today. And it's very easy to put things off, but wouldn't it be great to act today? Now look, if I acted immediately and gone to the doctors, the cancer would have spread. It appeared from nothing and grew fast in about 2 to 3 weeks and filled the majority of my left testicle. That's it. So you need to move quickly in life, because you never know what's around the corner. Now, if I had done absolutely nothing, then it would have spread through my body and I'd be dead within 2 years. Now, up till several years ago, then, you know, until they realised what it was, they cut the thing out, you know, people would be dying. So this was 2 years ago, so if it wasn't for me acting, then I'd be dead, and I wouldn't be here in front of you now. So you need to act today. Now, one of the things is the benefits of me acting today is, I have 2 young children. Now, I've got to watch because I just get very emotional. These are my boys.
Yeah.
They're young boys. Now, they would be without a father if I didn't act. Now, there are many men who leave it and delay. I mean, Lance Armstrong left it late, you know, and that's why he had to have the chemotherapy, because he didn't go to the doctor quickly. So you've got to act today. Now, I have a great reminder for me, because what is fantastic is I've got this silicone testicle. It's like this. It's clear plastic silicone. It's got salt water inside. So when I wake up in the morning in a fetal position, my body says, there's something not quite right, because salt water and foam is firmer than a fleshy white one. So I've got this reminder. So you need reminders to say, live each day as if it was last. This is right in the middle of my mirror to show you. You need reminders. Now I have another reminder, which is, if I go to the supermarket, they have these automated tills where you put things through, and occasionally this woman says, unexpected item in bagging area. Or whatever. Well, thank you. It's like, well, thanks. I say thank you. Because it reminds me to live each day. Now, you need a reminder. What's going to be your reminder? Because it's very easy to forget me, that I ever even was on this stage. You'll forget Laura and Peter and all the rest. It's very easy to forget. Because we get on with our life, we need a daily reminder, which is why it's useful to have a coach. Why it's useful to have an accountability partner. You know what an accountability partner is? Yeah. You have a mate, they say, you call me on, you make sure I do this by Friday, and I'll make sure you do your stuff by Friday. And then of course you think, oh my God, I better do that by Friday. So you need something like that, Now where am I? And the third point is have a ball. And we've got to treat life as fun. Now, I'm trying to be serious about, because, the reality is, as I said, you're going to live into your 90s and so on. But I want you to realise you need to have fun in the doing of the day-to-day actions. To have fun doing those things. And that's what life's about, because there's always a way to turn an item, a job, into something that's fun. And that with a smile on your face, because with a smile on your face, you actually get things moving. So what I propose is, I've got 5 minutes left for you. These are my 3 tips. Live each day as if it was your last. Don't delay act today. And thirdly, have a ball. Because when you find the fun in everything you do, you smile and you get things moving. So what I want you to do now, and there's one other thing I'd say, is take a risk as a bonus one. Make those risks. Do something that's scary. Not too scary, but do something that's slightly scary. And that way, it's amazing what progress you can make. So what I'd like you to do in our last few minutes, I'd like you to stood up. And with the first part is I'm going to ask you just to keep your eyes open. So I'd like you to take the back of your head and just move it forward to stretch the back of your neck, because quite often this muscle gets quite tight. Yep, and feel the stretch. And look up again. And now I want you to open your mouth wide and stretch your mouth muscles. Great. And move your jaw. Now focus on your breathing. So breathe in over 5 seconds. And out over 5 seconds. Breathe in for 5. And out for 5. Now when I do that, I become more aware of what's going on and time slows down. Do you get that sense? Yeah. So notice the difference you feel from that simple exercise that you could do every day. Now I'd like you to close your eyes now. And nothing's going to happen. I'm just going to guide you through something. I want you to imagine going home tonight and sitting down with a piece of paper and writing down one thing that you can do tomorrow that's the most important job that you can do first thing. So you're writing this tonight very kindly and gently. Make it something you can do in 5 to 30 minutes. That's not a crisis stretch thing, but just a gentle stretch for you. Something maybe you've been putting off. So that's the task, to write this job down. I'm going to start this 8 o'clock in the morning, 9 o'clock in the morning. It's the first thing before you go to Facebook or email, to start the day, because it could be your last day tomorrow, but just as a way of looking. And then I want you to future pace into tomorrow and imagine yourself doing it with a smile on your face like you're doing now, a gentle smile on your face. So you can see yourself doing that, and at the end of that time, that 5 to 30 minutes, you celebrate your magnificence for doing that thing so differently and starting your day doing the one thing that's most important. Now what I did met when I got this cancer is I created 200 videos over the last 2 years for my children and for my clients, because I don't know how long I've got on this planet. But I just did every week or so, I did one little video, 5-10 minutes. That's, and I also even have a video of my children from if I was to die as well. So you need to do these little tasks. So I want you to imagine you're going to do that. Now this last thing I want you to do is I want you to think of all the people who love you and think you're wonderful. Bring to mind your parents, your friends, your children, or your grandparents, and think of them and feel their love, because you know what they love you for? Not for who you will be or who you were, but for who you are now. So if they can love you for who you are now, what if you could love yourself even more than you do right now for who you are? I know there's some things you're disappointed in and you think, oh, I should have got this by, I should have done this by now. Let yourself off the hook for now. Reset your life. Tomorrow is the start of your new life. So now I'd like you to open your eyes, and I want you to applaud the person who deserves the biggest applause in this room. The miracle that is you. Well done you. Please applaud yourselves for the miracle that is you.
Really impactful messages in that speech, but delivered with such humour and humility and grace. It's really inspiring to watch. Do we have a question for Chris? Anyone?
Yeah, do sit down.
Yeah, have a seat and put your hand up if you've got a question for Chris. Or the first question. Or you're all just kind of in shock at the story. No? One question over there.
Yes.
Repeat the exercise.
So tonight you're going to write the task that you're going to start the day with. It's like, you know, you say you're going to start your book tomorrow, one day.
So your to-do list.
Your to-do your list. But think of the most important thing that's going to make the biggest impact. Do that first thing tomorrow morning. Don't delay it so you start it at 4 o'clock and you're really tired. The best time to do your best work is first in the morning when you're refreshed. So get up early if necessary and do what's most important. If you do those little things, a good example is the best writers in the world. They don't write a book in a weekend or something like that. They do 500 words a day. And it's those little things because they focus on doing the most important thing first. And then they get on and do other stuff. That's my point.
Thank you. Any other questions? Yeah, one question here at the front. Just wait for the mic 1 second. Can you just pass the mic along?
Thank you. Hi. What one piece of advice, if it was just one thing you would want to pass to your sons, what would you pass to them?
Crikey, I think it is this live each day as if it's your last, and get really present and love the other person for who they are, because you never know how long they've got. And I think it's very easy for us to see the people we meet as like a threat sometimes, and we hold ourselves back. And I've always taught my children to really engage and be very present and just love people for who they are. And they also know that I'm going to die. And I even talked to my 15-year-old about me dying. He said, don't die yet, Dad. But we talk about things like that. So have these conversations that are often uncomfortable.
Thank you.
Thank you. And what can we do as the YESx group for you? How can people connect further with you or learn more about your work? What would you like to share?
Well, mainly what I do now is I help people who are coaches, trainers, consultants, as I said earlier, turn their knowledge into money, and actually real money. Often people have created a product, but they're not making quite the money they want. But I show you what you're doing wrong, because I've been doing this for 20 odd years. So I'd love to help you. It's what drives me, what gets me out of bed in the morning. So if I can help you in any way I can and give you some great advice, come over, give me your email address. I've got 4 products for you, you're very welcome to have, that normally I charge for. If there's anything I do, please let me know.
Thank you.